Hello, welcome back to another video on Minecraft. Today we are playing on a survival test version called 0.2 underscore 05 survival test. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna get up here where it's safe. It's a bit laggy, so I'll fix that. There we go. That way my recording doesn't lag too much. It shouldn't. Okay. So, uh, this is just a big picture. Let me turn off the music. Okay. And let me turn off the sound so you can hear me speak. Uh, so, Minecraft Classic 0.25 Survival Test. This was released on September 3rd, 2009. This is during the Classic era. So this wasn't Alpha, this wasn't Beta, or in-depth, or release, obviously. Um, this was still extremely early Minecraft. There wasn't even a crafting system. No hunger, no armor, no progression really, no infinite terrain, no nether, what the hell, no beds, no true modern survival loop. Survival test itself was a short experimental phase that began with 0.24 survival test on September 1st, so just 2 days prior. And eventually, it ended with 0.27 survival test on October 24th. Basically, a full month and a half later. The point of survival test was not full survival mode just yet. The archived Minecraft page explicitly said the test was not an accurate demonstration of final survival mode, but it contained many gameplay elements that would later become part of survival. And I can't speak. My damn speech impediment. I'm sorry. And at that time, it was also a reward/test for people who had pre-purchased the game. So 0.25 is basically Minecraft discovering the idea of the world fights back. It added a strengthened it added or strengthened several core survival ideas. So things like saving and loading, dangerous mobs, arrows as a limited weapon, skeletons shooting arrows, pigs dropping food like healing items, mob respawning, score, mob and fighting, and persistent worlds, yada yada yada. Notch's own 0.25 blog post listed the highlights. Mobs were more dangerous. Pigs dropped mushrooms. Arrows had limited supply. Skeletons gave arrows. Skeletons shot arrows. Saving, loading existed. Mobs respawned. Lonely mobs died. Sad. And skeleton caused monster infighting was added. In other words, skeletons can shoot each other and they would fight each other. Uh, it's basically like the core feel of this version. At least the first 0.25 version. It's not really survive, build, Minecraft, upgrade. It is more like you basically spawn in a small classic world. You have health, you have limited arrows. Mobs are fast and very, very angry. Um, you kill things for score, so this is almost like a mini game. You kill things to gain your score. You eat mushrooms to survive, and you try not to die permanently. This version feels more like an arcade survival arena, that's what I've noticed, than a modern Minecraft. The world is a sandbox, but the main pressure comes from mobs and health rather than long-term progression. So I'm gonna go over the mechanics in this era. There's a lot, so this could probably be like at least several minutes long. So if you want to skip forward, you can. But if you're like into the history of this, you could just stay. And either way, that's fine. As long as you enjoy the video. So, to begin with, the player had 10 hearts instead of 20. So I could like show you. 10 hearts. There's no 20. Fall damage was actually kind of less, but that's because it scaled down. When they had 20 hearts, when you had 20 hearts in the future, they kind of like scaled it up to match that. And there's a piggy over here. Look at him. Anyways, let me get back to reading the mechanics. I'm also gonna protect myself real quick so I don't get killed while doing this in this game. That'd be funny if I just come back and I'm like dead for whatever reason. There we go. I should be completely safe. So, let me go back here. Okay. So, the player has 10 hearts, as I already mentioned. Damage could come from falling, drowning, lava, hostile mobs, and even the player's own arrows. I'll show you that later. When health dropped to 2 hearts or lower, the health bar shook. I mean, obviously. Brown mushrooms healed the player by 2.5 hearts, while red mushrooms poisoned/hurt the players by 1.5 hearts. If the player died, the world became unplayable, somewhat like an earlier hardcore system before hardcore or spectator mode existed. You also fired arrows with tab, not with not with a bow. So let me show you. Okay, we'll just do it like this. Also, piling up was kind of harder in this version for some reason. So I can just spam the tab key like that. You do that. That's kind of a waste of arrows though. So yeah. Also, mob AI was kind of dumb in this version, and things were kind of just different. But I don't know. I think that's what makes this version really special. Now, if I could find find the exact hole, I think this was a yeah. Okay. So, let me see. Okay. The player spawned with 20 arrows when generating a new world. This was consistent. It's always 20 arrows, not 30, not 10. You know. Bows did not exist in survival tests and actually wouldn't exist for a little bit. So skeletons literally shot arrows from their hands. Skeletons were especially dangerous because they fired much faster than modern skeletons, and their arrows were purple. I don't know how that's dangerous, but whatever. Creepers were very different, though. They did not behave like modern creepers yet, and actually they had like a different appearance. They were actually kind of darker green. I'll show you that later. Creepers actually had a melee jump attack and only exploded when killed, at least in survival tests. That makes them feel less like modern ambush suicide mobs and more like unstable walking mobs that punish you after you defeat them. Yay! So the point system. This is actually pretty interesting. And if I recall, the point system actually still exists in modern Minecraft, but it's kind of broken. So survival test had a score system, which makes it feel very unlike later Minecraft. It feels much like an arcade game. Killing mobs awarded points. So I'm just gonna list them off and the amount of points they will reward. So to begin with, pig 10 points, sheep 10 points, zombie rewards 80 points, spider rewards 105, skeleton rewards 120, and a creeper rewards 200. However, indirect kills did not award points. For example, if a creeper explosion killed a zombie, the player did not get any points at all. The point system matters because it shows the design mindset. Survival Test was not yet about beating the Ender Dragon, building farms, or mining diamonds. Which is very surprising when you consider how modern Minecraft works. It was closer to how long can you last, and how much can you score before the world inevitably kills you. Blocks and drops were also kind of weird too. So there were unusual block drops compared with modern Minecraft. So for example, you could mine gold ore, but you would actually get like gold blocks. Same with an iron ore, you just get the iron block. Coal ore, surprisingly, would give you a stone slab, and oak logs would give you oak planks. It would do this because the blocks that you get now didn't actually exist yet. So coal, the item didn't exist yet. Iron, I guess like the iron ore is like a block that you could get, actually didn't exist. And of course, like gold ingots didn't exist either. And obviously the oak log block that didn't exist, even though you can find it. But like just like iron ore, it did exist as a placeable block. Also, the stack limit was actually pretty good in my opinion. All blocks could stack up to 99, not 64. Naturally found blocks could generally be picked up, but ores and logs dropped their special resources. Stone dropped cobblestone, and leaves drop saplings. Grass drop dirt, and liquids slash bedrock were unbreakable. I think stone dropped cobblestone. No, it dropped the stone block itself, which is pretty interesting. So I got that wrong. I wrote everything down before I made this. I just did it based on what I found online, but actually playing this and then like talking about it, it's different. But alright, let me go back to this now. Okay, so that is extremely prototype Minecraft. The game is still figuring out what mining was supposed to mean. Ores dropping full blocks instead of raw, craftable resources. Feels bizarre now. But it made sense before before really crafting existed. Okay. Hold on, let me take a bite of my food real quick. Just give me a second. Man, that's some good shit. Anyway. Here's a version by version rundown. So, 0.25 survival test. I'm only going to cover that and any version between that and the current version I'm on, which is 0.25 underscore 05. Alright, so nothing before and nothing after. 0.25 survival test. Released September 3rd, 2009, around 1613 Universal Time. I think that's the Universal Time Coordination. I might be wrong. It's UTC. So availability. This version is actually kind of lost. It wasn't available in the launcher. I don't even think anybody really has it. So yeah, it might just truly be lost forever. Hopefully not, but it is what it is. Main identity of this version is basically just a big 0.25 survival test update. The base of this version release added saving and loading of worlds. This is probably the most important structural change, since 0.24 already had the dangerous monster sandbox thing going on, but 0.25 made the world more persistent. Hostile mobs were also made more dangerous. They became faster, could see the player from far away, and would become angry if attacked, even from a distance. And they can also respawn over time. Lone mobs could lose health over time and eventually die. Hostile mobs could also fight each other, especially if a skeleton shot another mob. Another hostile mob. Skeletons did not fight other skeletons, which is strange. I thought they did, but I guess they don't. Pigs now drop 0 to 2 brown mushrooms, which is funny because, you know, pork chops didn't exist. This mattered because brown mushrooms were effectively food and healing. So I'm gonna demonstrate this actually. Let me see if I can mine this out. Oh my god. Well, I've just been ambushed. I guess that's why you don't dig down like that. Alright, I'm gonna only do a small world and I'm gonna turn on sound. I guess music too. Okay. Let me see if I could find a pig or anything really. Let me see. Also, sorry for the lag. Yeah, look, there's creepers over there. See how they're like dark green? Wow, there really isn't any good mobs out here. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can find at least like a pig or something to demonstrate. See, there's red mushrooms over there. Yeah, I'm just gonna generate a new level. On it. Okay. Here's it doesn't lag like this. It's lagging for me like right now actually. Holy crap. Yeah. Hold on a second. I guess it's only lagging because I'm recording it. I hear a lot of... Oh my. Yeah. Mob AI is pretty dumb though. Like, you see that? They just get stuck down there. Anyways. Oh, there's a piggy! I'm gonna show you what I mean by them dropping like mushrooms. Also, there's skeletons over there. I can't see them too well. Yeah, see they drop brown mushrooms. You right click and it heals you. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. And they do shoot purple arrows, the skeletons do. So let me see if I can tower up real quick at least. If I can do that, I'll probably be fine. For mini mobs, at least. I'd say 15 dirt is enough. I'm gonna get up somewhere high. Preferably a tree. There we go. A little higher, I guess. Sure. Try not to fall down to my death, though. Alright, this is perfect. Also, it's not even laggy at all. Look at that. Stable frame rate. As soon as I press the F key, it just changes to render distance. Which is how, you know, old Minecraft really functioned. Alright, look at that. Good FPS. I'm just gonna look up and pause. Actually, that's probably not pleasant on the eyes, is it? Oh well. Okay. Let me go back to this now. So, okay, skeletons fired purple arrows, like I demonstrated, and killing a skeleton caused 4 to 9 arrows to drop with random velocities around its corpse. Meaning the arrows could just fly out of nowhere, or they can just simply fall. Arrows were changed too. Their texture changed, they flew further, and the player spawned with 20 arrows, and the player can damage themselves with arrows. Score was displayed in the top right corner, and what do you know, that's true. There were also some fixes from the last version too. So arrows now dealt damage after flying for more than a single second, and hitting monsters through walls was also fixed. There was also a bug, or accidental change probably, where creeper explosions became less powerful. I guess it was unintentional. But yeah, this version matters because this is the moment survival test becomes more than just mobs exist. It gains a survival economy. Arrows, skeleton drops, mushrooms, and saving/loading, score, and deadlier AI. Ain't that fascinating? Alright, to the next version. So, 0.25_01. This version is unfortunately also considered lost. Because it's not launcher and nobody really archived it. The same will be said for the next version, which is 0.25_02, and the version afterwards, 0.25_3. So let me go ahead and do _01 real quick. This was released in September 3rd, 2009 at 16:15 Universal Time Coordination. It could also just be UTC. This was literally 2 minutes after 0.25 released. So, yeah, no wonder why they were lost. Nobody could find them anymore. They were just out for less than like an hour. So, the in-game label was still labeled it as 0.25 survival test. The main change on this one was the arrow damage actually increased. Wasn't really a major version, but yeah. The only documented gameplay change is that arrows now dealt 7 hearts of damage instead of 3 hearts. That is a gigantic damage increase. If all mobs had 10 hearts of health, then arrows basically became extremely powerful. It also makes sense with the limited arrow designs. If you only have a limited supply, each arrow needs to matter. So in practical effect, this version made ranged combat much more lethal. Skeletons also became scarier indirectly because the arrow system now was more dangerous. The next version, 0.25_02. It was released same day, but at 16:26, so a full 11 minutes later. Yeah, like I said, this one's basically lost. Not in launcher, it's not been archived, it's just lost. The biggest change with this is the creeper crater fix and death screen loading. So this one, it just changed creepers so they have the same blast radius as before 0.25, and this fixed the creeper craters issue. It also added a load level button to the death screen. That death screen load button is a small detail, but it matters, since dying made the world no longer playable in the normal flow. The ability to load from the death screen made the save load system more usable. It softened the harshness a little bit without removing the core depth is serious concept. So in short, creepers became destructive again, and the player had a better way to recover slash load after death. Okay, 0.25 underscore 03. This one released on the same day, but it released at 1657 UTC. This one's also lost. It wasn't in launcher, and it's just not archived anywhere. The biggest change is arrows lasted longer. URL world loading was fixed. Right click damage removed slash changed. Um, Arrows now stayed around longer before despawning. Loading a world via the URL now worked. The page also notes that players can no longer right-click to deal damage, so the wiki marks that detail as needing verification. So yeah, the arrow despawn change probably made the skeleton combat feel more rewarding because arrows dropped or fired into the world remained available longer. Since arrows were limited and skeletons were a major way to regain them, the spawn time affected the entire combat loop. So in effect, arrows became easier to recover, world loading via URL was repaired, and melee control behavior was adjusted. Alright, here's a fun one. 0.25 underscore 04. Can you guess what this one did? That's right, it didn't exist. So yeah, this is kind of a weird one. There was never a real 0.25 underscore 04. I guess the reason is basically confusion over version labeling. Each 0.25 patch did not visibly change the version number, which caused confusion. Someone mistakenly changed the wiki version from 0.24 survival test 03 to 0.24 survival test 04, a version that did not exist. Notch apparently interpreted this as people saying the unlabeled 0.25 patches should have labels in the current version, which should be 04. So the next actual version became 0.24 underscore 05. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's very fitting for the period this was in. So half development history, half IRC slash wiki chaos. Finally, the version I am on, and the only one in 0.25 that's actually archived and that I can actually play. This one was released on the same day, but nearly an entire hour. Yeah, nearly an entire hour after 0.25 released on 1711 Universal Time Coordination. So it wasn't available in launcher, but it's archived elsewhere. The AL version is 6.52. And the main changes were custom skins on player arm, monsters stop chasing dead monsters. So yeah. This one is actually identified as 0.25 underscore 05 in game. And it has an archived client listed, which is how I actually got to play this on my Prism launcher. Its changes were small but interesting. Custom skins now displayed on the player's arm, and monsters no longer chased dead monsters. So the first change sounds tiny, but it is actually kind of cool historically. First-person identity matters in Minecraft. Seeing your custom skin on your own arm makes the world feel more like you. You're inside of it, not just some default test entity. You know, not some lame-o. I guess the monster fix is kind of funny and revealing. The AI was primitive enough that monsters could keep targeting dead mobs. Since this version added mob infighting, it makes sense that targeting bugs would appear immediately. So skeleton shoots monster, monster gets angry, things die, and apparently some mobs can keep chasing things that were already dead. So this version I'm on is cleaned up, slightly more personalized final form of the 0.25 update chain. So yeah, I'm not really going to summarize all of it because it's a big mouthful. I guess the wild part about this whole thing is that this entire chain between the first version and the last version of 0.25 happened in literally 58 minutes. Basically Notch live patching an experimental survival prototype while players were testing it. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I guess not crazy, but yeah, yeah. Uh, so let me go ahead and actually play the fucking game. That's what you've been waiting on a bit. I wonder how many monsters are down there. Not too many, I guess. I do see. I do see a zombie with armor plates on and 2 creepers. I'm gonna jump down. And I'm almost dead. You know what? Let's get killed by a creeper. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Fucking idiot. Anyway. Okay, let's actually try to survive for once. Look at that. See, the mobs kind of run around. They're kind of... Look how weird they run. You could just spam arrows. That gets rid of them. Also, cool thing about this. Look at that. That actually looks kind of cool. Anyways, I'm going to try to achieve like a high score here. Can I pick up arrows? Yes, I can. Look at that. More arrows for me. Get out of here, fuckers. Fuck you. Oh gosh, she's killing me. I'm not really going to focus on building anything in this episode. What's the point? This is basically just arcade Minecraft. Here. See, demonstration. They don't explode until you kill them. Just like that. Look at that. I actually kind of like Survival Test. It feels different from the usual gameplay in Minecraft. There's like an actual objective, which some people would probably enjoy. You know, the objective. Or there isn't really an objective still, but there's like an easier way to set one. Just get the highest score possible or something. Also, you can hear like mobs in like caves and stuff. There's probably some mob like underneath the ground I'm on. Who knows? Also, cool thing, water flowing was kind of infinite. I might have already talked about this, but I'm going to show it in action. So I'm just going to mine this here. In normal Minecraft, water will probably flow to right about here. But in this version, if I'm correct, it's not going to stop flowing. It's just going to fill all that up. Look at that. See? That's so cool. It could be devastating. Imagine you have like commands and stuff, and you did it like over there in the distance, and it flooded the entire map. Just imagine how devastating that would be for your entire world. Also, there's skeletons, so I could get arrows. Shoot some arrows at me, Pops. 550. It's not too bad, I guess. I'm gonna try it again. This time on a huge map. Oh. Oh. They charge at you too. Oh, this one has armor. See if I can collect the arrows. Look at that. 29 arrows. There we go. Die! Die, 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 motherfucker. Okay. Look at that, back to normal. Also, your range was better. You actually had a further reach when it comes to hitting things. Look at that, beat my high score. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get to 1,000. Probably not gonna happen though. Probably dead. I hear like a million. Oh, look at that. Food. Perfect. I can heal. This is big. Awesome. I'm gonna get more food too, just in case. So that's really the big strategy in this version. Just keep killing pigs to get mushrooms, so you can heal. And then you just keep killing mobs to build up your score. Hostile mobs. You can kill pigs too, but that doesn't really contribute much to your score. Let me see if I can find any more creatures here. Look, it's a piggy. Oink, oink. Man. So many pigs, but not enough monsters. It's unfortunate. Alright. Also, if you don't like hearing me eat my food, well, too fucking bad, kiss my ass. I do whatever the fuck I want, mate. It's my damn video, not yours. Anyways. Finally, first mobs. Look at all these zombies. Oh, wow. I don't want to waste arrows. I guess I have to. Come on, get to 1,000. Okay, I panicked for a second there. Ambush. Okay. Look at that, got to 1,070. I guess if I die at this point, I don't really mind. I don't know if that's a creeper or what that is. It could be anything. Oh, I was right. You could try and just back him into a corner and hit him like that. That works too. Oh, look, another one. I might try to get to 2,000. That would be kind of neat. Also, you just get random wood too from that, so I've already mentioned it, but worth mentioning again in case you didn't hear. I mean, how wouldn't you with my annoying ass for— oh my. Hey guys. Just chilling. Oh, I'm dead. Yep. And there goes my arrows. Great. Yay, I'm happy. Okay. Oh my. Let me see if I— okay, yeah, I'm dead. Oh, that's fine, I guess. Fuck. Anyway, 1870. Not bad score. I think that does it for this episode. Hold on, let me— okay. I think that does it. If you like this video or anything, great. You can hit the like button if you want, or don't. I don't really care, to be honest. I just do this for fun. You could also subscribe if you want, if you want to see more content too. More content like this, you know. You don't have to. Once again, you're not obligated to do that. I'm not like other people who are just like, oh, subscribe to my video if you like it. Like my video and subscribe, please. Thank you. Love you. You know, I'm not like that. No, I just rather you like do it on your own terms, obligated or not. You know, just do what you want, really, man. Your life, you're in control. And I'm not the one who's gonna be like, do this or do that. You know, I'm not like that. Wow, look at all that iron. I'm just gonna collect iron. Hell. So yeah, that's enough of this. If you want to leave a comment, you can. Tell me what version you think I should play next. I'm not going to play anything more modern than like 1.12 or 1.10. Because I just kind of like to stick to older versions. I've already talked about this in one of my older videos. So if you can, check it out. And you'll know why I stick to my older versions. But yeah. There's also— oh well, I'm surrounded. Okay, I can fix this. Hold on. Just block them from ever— oh, no. Well, that lasted long. Damn it. Oh well. Yeah. you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there. It's a crazy, crazy world. They're teabagging that corpse as I speak. Wow. Yeah. See you guys later. Bye.